Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Young Sutton and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm demonstrating a reading I performed for a young woman who is about to go on a first date with a man she met through a friend. Now, if you haven't watched the instructions for this spread, that video is linked in the description box below. Now, this deck is one of my smaller Russian decks. They're a bit smaller, and of course, it was then easier to fit all the cards under the camera. All right, so let's first start by checking out where they fall in their lines, right? Because that does give you some information right from the start. We can see that the woman is balanced between her inner and outer worlds, while the man, falling further to the left here, is more focused on the outer world of action, right? Now, he only has one card to our left, which is his right. Which represents his inner world. Thus, we can say he's more ego dominant and outwardly focused. So now comparing the two lines, though, they're not that far apart with regards to where their focus is, right? Are they more focused on their inner world or outer world? So they're not all that far apart. I mean, sometimes you get one all the way to the right and the other all the way to the left. All right, so let's start with the man. The two cards touching him are both clubs, which are the equivalent of the tarot wands. These are cards of passion and action. He only has one card to the left to represent his character, emotions, and inner world. Again, all this information you'll find in part 1 video, which is linked below. So this tells me that he doesn't have a lot going on here, or it's probably better to say this is not where his focus is. Okay? All right, the Two of Clubs is a card of luck, gifts, and opportunities. And because it shows up here to describe his character, I think you'll best understand what it's trying to say if I tell you the story that's linked to this card. The large image shows goddesses basking on the banks of a river with small pots of gold, also called jackpots. This relates to the story of King Midas, who got what he wanted when Dionysus granted his wish that everything he touched turned to gold. But he soon discovered that this included his food and drink as well as any other human or animal he touched. So once he realized his mistake, Midas asked Dionysus to remove the gift, now seen as a curse. So he was told to wash his hands in the river and the spell would be released. Now afterward, he became a better person. One who was free of greed, one who was generous and appreciative of all that he had. This tells me that this guy believes that there's more to life than just money, and that a man is truly rich according to who he is, not what he has. So, looking at the card descriptively, he may have been greatly influenced by the women in his life, which is where he inherited these intangible gifts. So even though he only has one card here, I'd say it's a really good one to describe who he really is. Now let's see what he's doing with his gifts by examining the cards representing his outer world, all these cards. Now the card closest to him is the greatest indicator of what actions he takes and what he shows to the world. And here we have the Seven of Clubs. And this shows that he makes his way through life. See, just look at this image. He makes his way through life climbing over challenges in his desire to elevate his position. He's rather successful due to using his charms to change situations to his favor. And because this is part of his makeup, he easily recognizes this in others and therefore is leery of being manipulated himself. So he treads cautiously, though he continues to move through life with great determination. That's one of the main themes in this card. When he desires another person, right, he'll exert great energy to seduce them. Okay, it's the card of seduction, right? So he's going to exert great energy to seduce anybody he wants, but his desires can burn up as quickly as they appeared. See this oven down here with the flames coming out the top? Yeah, there's all his desires just burning up as quickly as they came to him. Now, he doesn't always follow through on his promises, and he's been burned by others. These are all aspects of this card. He's been burned by others in the past, so infidelity is a possibility. Now, descriptively, what could we say about him? That he's you could say he's a big guy, but he's physically strong, and he's fit. All right? So now all these other cards, we're mainly looking at the small left images that are closest to him within the context of the card. Okay, so here we have the 2 of spades, and this says that he's not above planning revenge, though this image says he's not going to act on it. He seeks revenge, he thinks about revenge, but he doesn't really act on it. Okay, I like that. And rather than taking action against his foes, he's more likely to retreat and seek advice from those he considers to be more knowledgeable than himself, right? So that's what this large scene is up here, okay? The soldiers consulting a soothsayer for advice before they act, okay? So here we have a talisman. We have the Saturn talisman, okay? And because this is facing him, I'd say that he's, talismans are only used by those who believe in them, who believe in magic, if you will. So I'd say he's open to the spiritual arts and may consult seers regularly, which is a big theme of this card. Okay, so the next card is the Jack of Diamonds. And here we are. And the left image tells me that he has faith in a higher power. Okay, correlates with that. And he also seeks out and appreciates moral support, whether it's from other physical beings or that which lies beyond the veil. Okay, so descriptively, this is the Jack of Diamonds. So descriptively, he's not a king, he's a Jack, right? And it says that he uses his ingenuity, intelligence, and courage to achieve success in life. He's intelligent and cunning, and while he does have ambition, okay, that's correlates with this card, he often doesn't reach his goals due to a lack of effort or a lack of know-how. That's the Jack. This correlates with the two of clubs, right, which said that, or over here, okay, even though this is describing his inner world, this is a big theme of this card is saying that, he could reach the top of his game by applying enough effort and using his talents, right? That's what this card says. But then over here, the Jack says that even though that is part of his inner world, he has the ability to do that, he doesn't so much, right? Probably because he's so leery of being manipulated and not very trusting. All right. Okay. So let's go to the Four of Hearts. The Four of Hearts is really cool. This tells me that he may have had at least one failed relationship due to infidelity, which he now sees as an error in judgment. So that's good. Let him make all his mistakes before you hook up with him, ladies, right? Or gentlemen. Yeah. Let them make all their mistakes before you start dating them. Now, but this card also says that he may be capable of cheating in that he doesn't want to lose the security. Look at this image down here. He doesn't want to lose the security of his current relationship by ending it. So instead, if he's dissatisfied, he'll test the waters on the sly, right? And this correlates also again with the Seven of Clubs. Now, currently, he may be torn. Looking at this image again, he may be torn between two lovers. Right? Now, descriptively, I'd say that he was probably a rebellious child. We're moving up here now. Yeah, he looks like he was a rebellious child, and he may still feel that he ran away from home. Like he may have these guilt feelings for leaving his mama. Right? Yeah. Okay, so last we have the Three of Clubs, which is an alchemy card, and another reference to magic. Right? So the small left image down here tells me that he enjoys good health, which can be attributed to his positive attitude. That's tying it into the overall meaning of the card. He's a patient man who's good at focusing on what he wants, which allows it to manifest in his outer world. Descriptively, he may be so focused on the tasks put before him that he brings his work home and he allows his everyday worries to affect his personal relationships. So you always have to look at both sides of the coin, right? Both the good and the bad of the card. So the left image down here shows 3 generations of women. And this correlates with what I saw in the 2 of clubs over here, which depicts a group of women, as well as the main image on the 4 of hearts, right, which shows him with his mommy. So I'd say that he's definitely been greatly influenced by the women in his life, and he may be a bit of a mama's boy. This alone could be a huge red flag, you know, for any potential wife. I know it would be for me if I had it all to do again. All right, so now we know something about this man. So let's check out the lady, and then, you know, we'll see just how compatible they are. So remember that her cards on our left, right, represent her character, emotions, and inner world. Now her closest card is the 2 of hearts, which is a card of loyalty, integrity, and sincerity. What a great card to get here to describe her character. Oh my gosh. So descriptively, it shows that she's more of an introvert. You can see there's no people in this card. We got the dog all by himself out here. We got the monk meditating next to his hut, right? There are no people here. I mean, so she's probably more of an introvert. And also this image down here says that she's leery of flattery. All right. She's also incorruptible and can't be seduced. Overall meaning here. And we already saw that the man uses seduction to get what he wants. But he's not going to be able to seduce her, isn't he? Is he? He's met his match. And she may just be what he needs. Of course, this card says that she's quite leery of flatterers, which says that, you know, she may be turned off by him from the start. Okay, so let's see what the next card has to say. That we have the 6 of clubs, which says that she is willing to take risks, though. Okay, so that kind of just knocked that idea out of my head, that she may not even give him a chance. She is willing to take risks. And she sees herself as a winner. Now we're going to mainly these small images that face her, okay? She sees herself as a real prize. All right, and overall meaning, she avoids disputes, and when faced with rivalry or any tension in a relationship, she will feign peace to appease her partner. Okay, but note that she's also got a card of consulting a seer here, right? Look at this image and look at this one. They're basically, it's the same scene. All right, I mean, the main characters are doing something different here, but they are both visiting the seer with the sheep. They used to slaughter the sheep and open it up and read the entrails in the same way that we read the cards. Aren't cards a lot nicer? I can't even imagine. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the fact that she has a card of consulting a seer, but it's part of her inner makeup, tells me that she probably trusts her own intuition. She may be a card reader herself, you know. And she also has the sun talisman down here, which suggests that she sees the truth easily, right? Yeah, so this is another hint that she'll see right through any attempts made to seduce her. Okay, so let's go to the Ace of Clubs, and this says that she's a bit guarded regarding others, but she does uphold her, she upholds her obligations, and she never forgets those who help her in life. She may prefer solitude over parties and socializing, right? She is one who prefers solitude, which we already saw here, which correlates, you know, like I said, with that. And this card says that she avoids rivalries and turns away from hostile people. Okay? This card also contains a sun. It's up here in the constellation. All right? So this tells me that she has high self-esteem, right? Again, she sees herself as a prize. got the sun talisman down here. She's the prize, and she's got a sun up here. And these are all part of her inner makeup. All right? So let's look at her right-hand cards, our right-hand cards for her, which represent her outer life and the actions she takes as a result of her character. So on this side, over here, she has two spade cards and a diamond. Spades are equivalent, loosely equivalent, right, to swords, and diamonds, pentacles. So the diamonds represent material and practical aspects. The spades are thoughts and communication. So the closest card is the Ace of Spades. And here we have another reference to seduction, which is a main theme running through the man's cards, right? Now, what I found really interesting about her two closest cards is that they indicate a discrepancy, some discrepancy in who she really is and how she acts, okay? Yeah, because her main character is the Two of Hearts, which speaks of one who has integrity and is incorruptible, but her main action card is one that speaks of uncontrolled passion and acting on impulses. So while she has integrity and is firm in her convictions, and is leery of flattery, she's not perfect, okay? She's definitely not perfect. She's curious but suspicious. I'm getting that from down here. And wants everything out in the open. Now, this is a card of Taurus. This card represents the sign of Taurus, so she probably loves routine. And based on the cartomantic meaning, she may be going through a major life change at this time. It's also a card of kidnapping. All right, that's a main theme from the large image. And while this didn't resonate with me, I sense that she kind of feels like she ran away from home, right? Or maybe she did run away from home when she was younger. And we saw the same in the man's cards with the Four of Hearts. Okay, so they have something in common that they can talk about. Yeah. I imagine she has some vices that she gives into. All right, that's part of this card too. See the guy drinking down here? Yeah. So, yeah, she may be prone to gossiping and drinking, which are parts of this card. And as far as romantic relationships are concerned, she'll most likely enjoy secret rendezvous and amorous escapades. Ooh. You go, girl. So if this guy really wants her, he may only have to take her to a bar to lower her resistance. All right, let's go to the Three of Spades. This is a card that references taking care of your health. Okay, that's the overall theme of this card. Taking care of your health. And it's also a card that describes a person who accepts life as it comes, right? The left-hand small image indicates, yeah, right there. The left-hand small image indicates a long and peaceful life. And we already saw a reference to good health in the man's cards, okay? Right here. So, yeah, she also appears to be in good health, and she takes her health seriously, okay? She guards her health, right? So they are compatible in this regard. But she does see life as unpredictable, so she doesn't take chances, which is why she guards her health. Descriptively, she may be dealing with a lifelong disease. That is something you might see in this card, right? But one she's able to keep under control. Like she might be a diabetic, or she might have asthma, or like IBS or something like that, right? So she is health conscious. She's aware and conscious of her health and takes care of it. Let's just put it that way. All right, so lastly, we have the Four of Diamonds, and that's a card of assistance and support to overcome life's difficulties, and especially when faced with a challenging decision. So she's not one who's comfortable when faced with a difficult decision and depends on the support and protection of something or someone outside of herself to assist her in this regard. All right? So, without that support, she's like Jason down here, trying to face an angry bull with no protection. All right? Now, this card can also describe one who visits seers or psychics or fortune tellers to assist them with life's challenges. That's coming from the main image up here. right? So that's another thing she seems to have in common with them. So far we're seeing a lot of things they have in common. Okay? All right, so overall, these two do appear to be rather compatible. And if he can tone down his attempts to charm her, and if he can be a bit more open and truthful, or at least get her drunk, they may just hit it off. So the last thing I want to say about this spread is that I think it would be a good one to try with tarot or cartomancy if you aren't comfortable yet with the Grand Jeu, or just don't want to try the Grand Jeu. But I have to say that the tableau style decks, such as the Petit Lenormand and the Kipper, they don't provide the same level of information if you're going to lay them out in this type of format, and they're really better suited to the Grand Tableau. You could get all of this information from those card systems if you lay a Grand Tableau, asking this, to see what cards fall around the guy and what fall around the lady and what connect them, and that kind of thing for compatibility. So so this spread, in my opinion, is not suitable, not as suitable as a Grand Tableau would be for Kipper and Petit Lenormand. But it is great for the Grand Jeu, and I think it would be great for tarot or just playing cards. All right, so if you do try it with another system, I'd love to hear about your results. So that's it for this video, my friends. Stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be on combining Kipper and the Petit Lenormand. So until then, keep your vibration high and your cards nearby, so that you can happily play with them. All right, bye for now.